Hello, and welcome to another episode of From the Heart. Today, we're going to be painting this awesome cricket cage found in a D&D campaign recently played by us truly. And it has no door. Don't ask about the door. It's not supposed to have a door. It's canon. I've already done one of these, so it should be pretty easy. I think I have a better idea on how to actually go on about it. I got some better filament, and it should be cool. It'll be good. No clue? This video?
Yep.
First thing we're gonna do is obviously we need to sand it. We have some better wood filament. It should actually turn out to be pretty nice. I don't know why we're out in the woods right now, but it seemed like a good aesthetic for the video. And I think this thing's gonna turn out pretty good by the end of it. It's gonna be This thing is heavily inspired by D&D. We've been playing just about every single week. Like, can you stop playing with the focus? Like I said, I bought this from a merchant. I kind of went willy-nilly on my own design with it, but it turned out good. I'm excited to see the finished product. And it's definitely inspired by nature, Sylvana, some people might say, which is my god as a cleric. Let's see how this thing goes. We'll see you back at the workstation. Alright, we are back. We are no longer in the woods. We are in the quote-unquote workshop, as I called it before. Which I'm not feeling so great about now. And hopefully I'm not messing up this shot. I'm really afraid it's going to be out of focus, but we're just going to go for it. We're just going to do it. We're going to sand this thing. It's going to be sick. I'm really excited to see how this guy turns out. Like I said, I've already done one of these, and it turned out really nice. This one's a little bit bigger. Yeah, I recorded everything for the last one as well, but the footage just all looked really poopy. So we're gonna go ahead and sand this thing down, try and get rid of some of these layer lines. But there's just a bunch of these ridges, and there's a bunch of like little hairs and strands and stuff underneath there. So we'll probably cut into a time lapse, and then after that we'll paint it, and we'll sand it again. We'll paint some extra stuff on it. And it should turn out pretty sweet. This thing, like I said, came from a D&D session. I bought this cricket cage from somebody without a door, like I said previously. So please don't leave me comments about there not being a door. And let's freaking go. Welcome back. Everything is now sanded basically to where I need it. I'm starting to run out of some sandpaper, so I gotta go get more, but this should do. This top part up here is probably just gonna be mostly covered anyway. So yeah, we're gonna do, you'll see at the very end. It's gonna look sick. But yeah, guys, so all these bars and stuff, they take quite a long time, but as long as I can smooth out these layer lines a little bit so they're not gonna be poking up above the paint itself, it should be alright. Then I've done some cleanup and stuff, but we're going to do a little more. So let's just start with that. We're actually going to take like a blowtorch. We're going to kind of melt down some of the tops of this. And then we're going to take this here razor knife, X-Acto blade. And we're actually going to carve some little chunks and stuff out of here. Just because it's going to make it look a little bit used, a little bit battered. But it should look nice. It should look like a real, like, ancient cricket cage by the time we're done with this. I'm pretty excited for how it's going to turn out. So let's go ahead, grab the blowtorch, got the knife, and let's go to town. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this very well. I'm going to try and make sure I get it in the shot the best I can, because it's kind of a sneaky little area. I'll do that. But what I just want to do is just kind of melt down some of this yuckiness. And then do the dumb thing and take my finger and just kind of smooth it out. It is plastic still, remember. I don't know what the exact blend is, but usually, like, wood filament's usually, I don't even know. I would say 50-50 plastic, wood, but that's probably not the case. Some of the bottoms melted. It doesn't exactly look any better, but oh well, you're not really gonna see the bottom. I'm not super concerned about it. And it's just really tough to get up in there. So let's start taking the knife and start chipping away some of these parts. I just want to make sure we got this nice in the camera for you guys. This is kind of cool thing about wood PLA is it's a lot easier to like carve on than standard PLA, which is your just most basic printer filament. It's very susceptible to like sunlight and stuff. Your stuff will warp if you just leave it in direct sunlight, which is a sad thing. You can avoid that by getting like PETG, which is a lot stronger, a lot more heat resistant, but you have to print slower as it's stronger, so it's harder to actually melt in the printer. But you can do some pretty cool stuff with it. I made a couple like kitchen ornaments and things like that. That's not what we're doing here. We're using the wood filament because after this, we're gonna start staining. Back before, I used to use actual stain on projects and stuff, but it's kind of weird. It doesn't exactly absorb into the plastic. I mean, it will stain it, but it takes absolutely forever to dry. I mean, days sometimes, especially if it's not printed solid, because it'll just like leak inside of all the cracks and crevices of the inner structure. Yeah, I tend to like to print everything solid. It makes them feel very real, very solid, and it gives some things some serious weight. But I'm liking how this is turning out. I don't know if you guys can actually see it too well, but I'll do a close-up here pretty quick on these columns. But it's looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna keep carving this out, do another bit of a time lapse like we usually do. And yeah, guys, I will see you on the other side. Got it pretty carved out. I just got it on this little set piece that I built a little while ago. It's actually supposed to be for like a podcast, but I don't have the green screen. I do, but it's such a bitch to use. But yeah, check that out. Check all these little ridges if you can even see them. Check that out. You can kind of see them. She's looking good. These things are going to look incredible once it's actually all stained and stuff. We're gonna tie some wire on the top, and there's just so many little things that we can do to this. I don't know if you've seen all these little design doohickeys down here. We got like a rose. Oh yeah, that's good. Now, it's time to make our stain. We're just gonna use paint, like I said, actual stain. Takes way too long. I need this to dry. Then I'm gonna go to Best Buy, get a dope ass keyboard, and then hopefully I can sand it once I get home, because I really want to finish this video today. Just so I can get it out in a timely manner. I'd really like to start uploading every week or every like week and a half, just to avoid burnout and stuff, because I'm going to run out of designs and eventually have to restockpile on that. But we're going to use some brown, we're going to use some red, and we're going to go ahead and mix that up. Okay, so I'm going to be extra careful just because I reviewed some of the other videos of me sanding and it was way out of focus, so hopefully it's not too whack. We're gonna do a good little blob there, a little blob of red. I really like Cabernet, like barn colors, like really dark wood with just a little bit of like cherry in it. So I usually like to mix brown with red, or maybe like a dark purple. That also usually comes out with something pretty cool. But I think this is going towards the best. So let's quick mix this up. Here we go. The actual painting process. And eventually these rings and stuff, we're going to paint them like gold, and then we're going to do all these things in copper, or maybe gold too. Honestly, the color scheme, I've been playing a little bit Elden Ring, so I want this to look very fantastical, very dark fantasy maybe even. I think it's going to be great. I really like this color that we got here. It's all sanded, looking pretty awesome. Now all we're gonna do is we're gonna quick paint all these rings and stuff gold, and then we can start adding the rest of the roof and whatnot. We're so close to the best part. Just hold on. So this is probably going to be one of the harder parts. I just actually recorded something, and I was going to tie this rope through like the actual roof of this thing, like through all these, but I just did not take into account like designing it, the actual design, and how many of these columns there'd have to be like specifically, and like just basically a whole bunch of factors. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to take the roof, we're going to take this lovely string, we're going to drape it across like this, alright? Then we're going to glue it piece by piece, cut it off. It's going to take a long ass time, so I'm not necessarily excited for this part, but I know in the end it's going to pay off and it's going to look really cool. So let's just start doing that. Just check this out, man, and know that this is probably going to take me the sum of like 2 hours or something like that, something ridiculous. Hopefully not, like an hour probably, but enjoy. Alright, so we're almost done with this thing. We got all the roof put on, the rope and stuff. I actually think it turned out really awesome. I'm glad I finally figured out a good way to actually go about that, because I almost screwed it all up. But glue, string, works awesome. I think the next thing that we're going to do, guys, we're going to continue the add to the roof, and this is really like the final part to it. We got these lovely purple flowers, and what we're gonna do is we're basically just gonna start cutting off pieces and attaching them into the actual rope, and then add some fake moss with it, and it's gonna make it look very organic, very peaceful, I think. So I'll try and set up the perfect shot over here, and we'll just cut this camera out right now. There we go. We got one flower in. I got my tiny knife, and all we got to do is just poke them right through this roof. You just wait. This thing is going to look very swampish, yet, I don't know. It's very Sylvanos oriented. Like I said, we've been playing D&D. This is for D&D. My character is very much about Sylvanos. I basically, most of the time, am trying to convert people to Sylvanos. We actually found this little fish boy, and his name's Kahlua. He can't really talk. He's got really cool treasures in his stomach. He recently gave us all some pretty cool items from out of nowhere. But he as well serves Kahlua. So every time I use like a spell or something, or light a dude on fire, me and Kahlua, we take a knee in the name of Sylvanos. Which honestly I've always wanted to play, but now that I'm actually getting to, along with like some really good friends, my girlfriend, my brother, it's been a pretty good time. So I definitely recommend some D&D. I think it's a healthy experience. Well, I'm not sure how many more of these purple flowers we're gonna stick in, because I don't want to overdo it. Okay, I think I got all the flowers where they need to be. Man, this looks so pretty. This looks awesome. We're gonna grab the moss real quick, and we're gonna do that. I kind of want some more on the top here, but maybe we'll just do a couple sticking out of the peak. We'll do the moss, and then we'll do the Mod Podge right after that and make it all stick. Now begins the moss blending tutorial. You're gonna wanna pick the finest moss you can find. Make sure it's not near like poison oak or nettles or any kind of plant that could potentially harm you. But once you got your pick, got a few good colors, you just want to blend it all up like so. And it's ultimately just going to make one nice, more natural looking moss. A super moss, if you will. Moss that would surely please Sylvanos. Definitely grown for Sylvanos. So we'll just keep on blending. Blending. And there you go, a beautiful moss mabob. And here we go. I should probably just do this outside so I don't have to move it, but we're just gonna go for it. Alright, we're just gonna sprinkle all this shit on there. It's gonna be awesome. Just need to kind of stick up against the rope. Oh, yeah, buddy. So much of the moss is just falling right off. Alright, let's just quick go Mod Podge it right away before anything bad happens. Alright, as you can see, it's finally done. It took me like 2 weeks to finally getting around to actually finishing this thing, but I'm really impressed with how it turned out. I love the holographic paint that we did on the bottom. It actually just looks nice and enchanted, exactly how I wanted. And that rope and the moss and stuff really look pretty good. I'll leave a couple clips in of the other one that I did. It's pretty similar to this, besides the top, where I like weaved grass into it and whatnot. But this one's a little bigger. It turned out awesome. The Mod Podge actually made it all a little bit darker. Just makes it actually look a little bit more like polished wood and stuff. It made the gold pop out, the holographic paint, all that stuff. It makes the moss stick to the roof a little better. But I'm gonna post this online for you guys if you want to download and make one yourself. I'll probably post these on Etsy if you want to just buy one outright. And yeah, just know that if I do the Etsy thing, it's gonna take a little while for that to actually finish up. But yes, D&D, super fun. Really great place for 3D printers and designers to actually come up with little trinkets and baubles and things like that to make. And it's raining now. I'm really worried about this camera, but I'll include some more pictures. And thank you so much for watching. This one seemed a little bit more messy to me in the editing process, so I'm a little bit worried about it. But I'm just gonna keep making these. Try to get them out in every like 2 weeks, hopefully. But you never know. So here you go, the cricket cage. Enjoy yourself, and download it for free. Make one. Maybe let me know what your character is in D&D. I'm a cleric. I'm a tiefling. My name is Nethmos, and I'm a total boss.